The CDL Pro-Am is over and we have a new Call of Duty Vanguard champion. My hair is also a mess, but I'm growing it out, so don't roast me in the comment section below. But in all seriousness, since we do have COD back for the time being, I wanted to do a breakdown on the finals, NYSL versus LAT, two teams going into this event that no one would have predicted to win. So let's find out how NYSL secured the CDL Pro-Am championship. Now, as we get into the first clip, I do want to preface this: if you didn't watch the finals, NYSL actually got bodied in map 1 against LAT. This is one best of 5, and they got absolutely clobbered in the Berlin Hardpoint. But it just goes to show their resiliency, not only in this series, but realistically the whole event. Round number 1 in the Tuscan S&D. NYSL is on defense. So as you can see right now, it is still a 4v4. No one has died yet on the map. You have number 2 and number 4, which is going to be Hydra and Crimsix working this A bomb site, while you have Paul X sitting around top church trying to help look over mid-map, get info, and then Kismet is going to be anchoring on the bottom part of the minimap at B, just being the safety net for NYSL. So Paul X goes down. He gets blooded by Kenny mid-map, but look at how fast Hydra is on it. When you get blooded, both teams know this. Well, both teams should know this. The team who gets blooded, they now have to make a play, okay? Because Hydra went mid to you to where he's at right before this, right? He was up on this little wall over here on A. He knows, because Paul X is calling out, that he died from mid. So he decides to attack because he has Crimsix, who's number 4 in the minimap, watching over him. So Hydra's going to just sneak on through. He's not going to see anything at first. He kind of gets timing. He gets a huge win on Draza. And then, look, he gets out. But you see how Crim was right there for the bait and switch. Crim was basically there to get a 2-piece to follow up Hydra's kill, or if Hydra dies, to then trade it out and try to make something happen. Hydra gets out alive. He gets one, gets lost, okay? And now they back up for a second. They reposition themselves because they know they're getting shot at, that there are more LAT players in this area. And now watch, Crim is in Hydra's pocket right here. This is perfect baiting and switching 101. So I don't know if Hydra sound hoard the slide or what, but he gets good timing, kills Octane. And then what happens, number 6, as you can see on the minimap right here, Kenny, he sees that or hears that call out. He died or a cut, whatever this is called. And he goes, okay, I need a pick.
Look at that time.
He tries to trade Kenny, but can't. But because Crim is where he's positioned, right? Crim's not back at this like outer block heady. He is relatively close to Hydra. He's able to catch Kenny off guard, make it from a 3v4 to a 3v1. And now Envoy is stuck in no man's land. Now we have the mind games coming into effect. The first defensive round, if you guys remember, NYSL did a heavy A stack. They really played for A control and it worked out. But this time they're going to try something a little bit differently. They're going to be working from mid-map to B to this P5 area. They're going to essentially give up the A push, okay? That is the first thing. Second thing, this is a very cheeky angle, cheeky route, cheeky play by Hydra. I haven't really seen a player attempt it, but he's going to rush mid-map with Kismet and try and pre-snipe Kenny right here. This would have been sick if he hit it. He doesn't hit that shot, even though it would have been sick, but he gives the info to Kismet. Kismet knows that there is a player in this area, in this room, apartments, P5, broken, I don't know what teams call it, everything. So essentially what happens, he gets the info. He's being looked over by Paul X, who's top church, right? Which is why Hydra's able just to run back. And then you have Crim on the island over here. He's just playing their back spawn in case LAT wants to do what NYSL did and try to push through the field. But Kenny has no idea. He knows he got sniped at. He has no clue. Kismet gets a free kill on him. It's just great. Those are the freebies that you love to get as a player if you're Kismet. You love it. And Kenny's probably like, what the fuck? Didn't hear him. He had no idea. And on the other side of the map, Crim also hits a Kobe on Octane, turning this into a 4v2. This was a masterclass S&D round out of the side of NYSL. Draza is going to be able to get one here, but the round was over. They got a first 2 kills. It was very fast, 4v2. Crim was able to get another one. And it's, you know, damn near impossible to 1v4 any team in Call of Duty. So NYSL keeping the momentum going. And now they're putting the pressure on the side of LAT, right? LAT beat the brakes off them in the map one. Okay, I'm going to keep reiterating that because I was impressed. Okay, it was a nice map one. But now they're getting the momentum back on their side. An absolute dominant performance so far, and NYSL is not slowing down anytime soon. Now, we've seen both teams really focus on this A bomb site, middle of the map on offense. Mind games coming in once again in S&D. It is one of the most important things when two pro teams are playing is to always keep the other team on their toes. And that's what NYSL is going to do. They're going to do a 2-2 split, try and get info right. Kismet is relaying information. I saw multiple people mid, so you're going to see Hydra number 2 push up in this well area. You have number 1 Paul X watching the P5 push. And just watch, they're going to wait it out a second. Okay, let the round develop. You have Crim all the way in the back. And this is one of the worst things as a player that you want. You can see the screen is on Envoy right now. The scene knows that Envoy loves to take routes. He loves to flank, okay? When that's the case, teams scheme around that. They plan around that. So no matter what their pre-round strategy is, what their go-to, they're always expecting a flank. Now, I would have loved to see Envoy in this game. I mean, in general, do it more often, I should say, is instead of flanking, LAT and Envoy should start hitting stuff together. Because if teams plan for you flanking, like NYSL was this whole game, and Envoy died a couple times to it, you can make one of them useless every single round. It's the mind games, like I said, keep them on their toes, but LAT didn't do that, you know, and why would they listen to me anyways in S&D? I wasn't good. Regardless, NYSL starts to work this B bomb site, but you have Crim number 4 just waiting. He knows that his teammates, he has trust in his teammates, they're going to work this B bomb. He needs to see if someone flanks.
And Thieves right now, I mean, they just have complete and utter dominant
map and just wait on it because it's coming. Envoy's itching.
And Octane towards the back of the map. And
you can see you have Octane and Kenny kind of playing B. Octane starts rotating over. Crim gets the blood on Envoy. Envoy's trying to flank by himself. Can't be traded. 4v3. Another blood for NYSL. And now NYSL is planning to attack. And look at how they're doing it together. Where once again, LAT isn't playing this horribly, but NYSL is capitalizing on every advantage they get, no matter if it's big or small.
The Thieves are already moving.
They're already planning. Ken didn't really see it, I don't think. Or he knows that he couldn't do anything. But not only does Kismet plant the bomb, he gets out for the time being, and NYSL have complete control. And Kismet was a huge one-on-one engagement with Octane, but once again, there's no trades. It's not possible on the side of LAT. Now, that was a big win. Kismet got a headshot on Octane. Octane obviously has an AR up close. But NYSL, you can gamble. Not only are you up 4-1 in the map, when you have a 4v3 advantage, you do have a little bit more leeway than the team that is down in the life advantage, right? And NYSL knows that. Kismet obviously gets out. He's not in the best position because he was playing the bomb, and he makes something happen. This round's over.
So Kismet now alive and well, still 7-1.
Like LAT, they look lost in this map, I would say. At least in majority of the rounds. 5-1 in favor of NYSL, 1 round away from securing the dub and tying up the series 1-1 in a best of 5. The championship map for NYSL, Tuscan Hardpoint. And right off the rip, I know Crim has been beating the COD fundamentals into these guys, because this is going to seem very minuscule when I point it out, okay? And you guys might think it's very obvious, but there are still a lot of pro teams that don't understand what an assembly line is in Call of Duty. Okay? At least not as well as they need to. It's either they don't understand it, which I kind of refuse to believe, or they just don't have the discipline to consistently do it. So as you can see, it's only 7-0. It's the first hill of this Tuscan Hardpoint. You're going to have Hydra, who is the furthest player on NYSL pushed up. Now, if you guys don't know what the assembly line is, okay, I'm going to break it down. NYSL is spawning on the left side of this map, fire, right? LAT spawning on church side. Hydra is the guy furthest pushed up. So he gets that kill on Octane. NYSL knows LAT is going to be spawning this church side. So he needs to push up the furthest. Okay? He's going to push up. The 2 players off spawn. Let me rewind a second. Sorry. The 2 players off spawn, Kismet and Paul X, they spawn in fire. Now, there's 36 seconds. They could have, you know, one of them could have hit through mid, you know, try to pinch, whatever, be cute with it. No. The assembly line. So Hydra's first in line, Paul X is last in line, Crim second, Kismet is third. Watch the mini-map here, guys. Just look at this. Crim is holding hill until Kismet and Paul X flood in. Hydra is pushing up to put pressure on the LAT spawners. So he gets one and he keeps pushing. And once Kismet gets time, Crim now pushes up to help Hydra. And essentially, in a perfect world, okay, you just keep progressing like that through the map. All right, the first player is taking the, you know, quote unquote longest route, whether it be on pushing out a hill, whether it be on breaking a hill, and then everyone else funnels in line, the assembly line. I know it's super obvious, but this was just something pretty to see on the mini map. And look, Hydra or Crim gets another kill, excuse me. Hydra pushes up a little bit, Crim pushes up a little bit. Paul X is still last in line. He's watching the pinch. He's the anchor here. I just love to see it. Here's another great example of the assembly line. I understand that some of these situations can be very hard to understand in the heat of the moment. But Crim in this example right here, technically right now, he's the first player in line. Hydra's pushed up. He's about to die here. But he's the first player in line. So he leaves this guy. He leaves Kenny. He tries to get a free kill on him. Realizes he doesn't. Kenny does a good job shoulder peeking. He is going to go into the hill. Kismet and Paul X, they're also going to be rotating that way. But Paul X is last in line. So he is now going to be picking up what Crim was watching.
The corner. Kenny throws a nice shoulder.
And Kismet is going to be going around side of church. He's going to be going around the field side. And just look at how they play this. It turns into LAT having complete control to NYSL balancing it out. Paul X gets a kill on Kenny. Kismet gets a kill on Envoy. And they're just making it such an easier break because they have spawn still. LAT are spawning so far out. I know that's very minuscule. Like I've said, I've been saying that a lot, but this adds up. Plays like these add up. Right here, you see Crim just said it. We're in the listening with NYSL. He got a weird ass spawn, and that is a very weird spawn. He literally spawned front fire. NYSL, they were coming from this field side, right? They have spawned for new. Crim, though, he doesn't play tight. He understands the assignment. He knows that they have to be working through P5. So he puts himself in a position, I don't know what. Envoy's going for a fucking skydive off the top ropes. And then Octane's, you know, just there. I don't know what LAT's plan was right there, obviously, to try and work mid through fire, I'm assuming. I think they maybe thought that someone on NYSL was this roof area. But the fact that Crim positions himself there is great. And he gets a 2-piece, which is just a bonus. If he gets one and dies, that's all you need. But he relieves so much pressure on the side of NYSL. And look, they're just chilling again. They're down by 30 points right here. And then LAT actually flipped the spawns out. But just check the assembly line again for NYSL. They do such a great job at this. And even if you're not winning the gunfights, right? You have Paul X 16 and 20. You have Kiz 8 and 19. When you play fundamentally correct, you are always in the game. So look, you have number 2, which is Hydra. He is quote unquote like the longest route here, even though it's kind of hard to see sometimes, especially on some of these maps in Vanguard because they're so trash. You have Crim number 2. So Hydra dies. So Crim is now trying to get his trade. Number 1 is rotating behind him, and then Kismet, who comes up spawn, he takes the fire route. They know that they're spawning roof, right? You don't just want to all flood everyone through mid alley. You know, you catch a nade and that's it. RIP. But because Crim and Paul X took the right routes that they needed to, Kismet's able to fill in, get in fire, and then Hydra comes off spawn, so Kismet is able to rotate in. Kismet was watching the fire pinch that we saw Hydra make earlier in this map on this hill. Once Hydra gets there, he floods in. The trades are just constantly there for NYSL because of the routes they're taking. Crim said, I'm shitting. And then right here, this is kind of the difference when you're playing fundamentally correct and not. It's 237, 232 in favor of LAT, right? Kenny's on the hill and Kismet's on the hill. But look at NYSL and what they do. They both spawn. You have number 1 and number 4. They both spawn like top left of the main map, field side. Number 7, who's Draza, he's the first up. Kenny's obviously already in the hill. He should be going towards the hill, in my opinion. Okay? Because it's all based on timings. So instead, he tries to go mid, and I know that breaking mid or breaking through mid is ideal. Like, you want to have someone be through mid. It's very hard to break through one side. But just look at how this breaks down. Kismet goes rogue. Kismet makes a horrible play trying to challenge Kenny. Kenny gets a kill. If number 7 was taking the right route, he is way closer to the timing of them jumping on Kenny. Instead, he goes through middle, right? And you have Envoy and Octane off spawn. They spawn in this back church area. Look at the timing. Look at where they're at. And Kenny gets slid on by Paul X. Crim shooting over him. Whereas if Draza was there, he probably trades that kill on Paul X. It's a 3v2 in favor of LAT. But because he goes mid, Kenny has no help. And then he tries to pinch, and his timing is fucked up because the last person, Hydra off spawn, is picking that up. NYSL was perfect on the assembly line. And when you do have that in your bag as a team, fundamentally, COD timing doesn't hurt you as much. It doesn't hit you in the negative way as much as it does with other teams who don't play fundamentally sound. And in this case, LAT. I know that's one specific example, but LAT most likely win this map. They could have played a lot better in multiple different areas. But when it comes down to at the end of the game, that's what we saw. NYSL made the correct plays. Okay, they took the correct routes, the assembly line, and LAT didn't. And it messed up the timings, it messed up the trades. NYSL control the hill, and they're about to win the game. That's it for the breakdown, though, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. I was very surprised that both of these teams were in the finals. Can't be too mad as a LAT fan. And congrats to NYSL on the win. They went from looking like the worst team in the league to one of the best.